Hi, this is CKnappenberger, and this is my AEP800 Module 1, my introduction video for Fort Hays State University in the summer of 2019. Just looking at some of my background information, I'm an 8th grade language arts teacher at David Owens Middle School in New Milford, New Jersey. I've been in the classroom for 11 years. This will be my 10th year at David E. Owens. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Special Education and Elementary Education with a concentration in History and Middle Level Learners. Then I also have my Master's of Arts in Liberal Studies. My focus there was basically on Irish literature. Personally, I live in River Edge, New Jersey, which is about 5 minutes from New Milford, New Jersey, with my 2-year-old son Warren and my husband Chris. Because I am so close to the middle school, I'm actually very tied to the community, and so a lot of our community resources are shared because the towns are right next to each other. So I am very interested in kind of the improvement of my school and the school community. Looking at a critical reflection of technology or technology integration and its effects on classroom instruction, school improvement, and student achievement. First, looking at classroom instruction. As far as classroom instruction, I think that the integration of technology has really improved differentiation within the classroom. It allows the teacher a lot of different ways to meet all different students' needs in the classroom, so that's very helpful and beneficial. It's opened up my classroom personally to the world, to seeing what other things are like other places, to understanding more about the world and our country and kind of the world that we're living in. So that's been very helpful. So it gives them access. Always access, which leads to my distractions have increased. I think that it really has been a positive, and it's really given my students this worldview that before modern technology they wouldn't have had. But along with that is learning how to not be distracted by it and how to use it in a positive sense and not a negative sense. Giving my students like free access to the internet while they're there, or going on YouTube to find something, is a great tool, but can also be extremely distracting to them. So I think that with classroom instruction, one of the things that needed to happen is not only instructing them in English, because I'm a language arts teacher, but also instructing them on how to be a positive digital citizen, how to properly use those tools. So that's not in my curriculum, but now that's something that I have to show them and model for them as part of my instruction. So it's been a great influence in my classroom, but it's a struggle for students in classrooms because I think that they need to learn how to properly use these tools for their benefit. As far as school improvement, again, aiding with the 21st century skills, these students are gaining all the skills that they need to survive in this world, but that's not in the curriculum yet. Teaching them how to be positive digital citizens is something that, kind of has to be put in there. It has streamlined some serious tedious tasks in schools, registration tasks, handing out flyers, doing things like this. It has really helped technology integration to helping streamline all of those kind of office tasks that a lot of times would take way more time to do. Medical cards, like I said, signing up for PTO fundraisers, all those kind of things have been seriously streamlined for improvement. Also improved emergency protocol, having those emergency cards, having contact with the outside world, all that kind of stuff has severely helped with kind of improving any kind of emergency protocol that we have. So school improvement, safety wise, as far as like the day-to-day goings on of the office, have been severely increased, have been helped out with technology integration. As far as student achievement, I guess that kind of gets linked into what I was saying about classroom instruction, is that it helps some and it distracts others. We're giving students a lot of ownership over their own material now with giving them the technology tools. A lot of my class is web-based. Everything that they do, they don't really handwrite much anymore. So that gives the student a lot of ownership over things. It also provides a very big safety net for me to make sure that the student work is handed in. And if it's not handed in, kind of knowing those things. Also being able to kind of make the student own from class to class what's going on. It's very easy to kind of keep track of student work and student things because they are working digitally. It also gives parents transparency, and I guess that goes to school improvement as well as student achievement, transparency as to how the child is doing. For us, our grades are online, our papers are online, our assignments are online, everything is through either Google Classroom, things like that. So it's helping out with student achievement because that kind of relationship that we're looking for, that everyone's on the same page, is happening now because of these kind of ideas that are being put into our classroom and the technology. Again, it is distracting for some students, giving this much freedom and this much kind of information all at once, or having to learn not only how to write an essay, but also how to digitally, how to find all of these things and do all these different things to prepare for the essay, can be difficult for a student. Like for some, it's very helpful. For others, it can be distracting. Kind of a critique of myself. I have been as open as possible to any digital tool that will help my students be successful. And that's kind of how I've seen it. Anytime someone gives me something or provides a piece of information to me, I'm all about going to research it, look at it, and see kind of what's going on. So Google Classroom is a district-wide tool that we use. So all of my stuff is on Google Classroom. That's how I communicate with my students. That's how I post assignments. That's how I grade assignments. That's how, I collect things. We have a BYOD policy at school, and because of that, my 8th grade students are allowed to have their cell phones. So a lot of the work that we do, if it's looking up something, doing something, trying to see how something's going to work, we're using kind of their cell phones to do that and to keep in contact. I use commonlit.org, which is a site that helps with a lot of our like test prep or working on certain nonfiction and fiction writing skills. And it provides text sets for me and questions and essays and ways for my students to speak to one another and kind of offer information back and forth about a text. Peergrade.io is how all of my students peer grade each other's work. It's an anonymous thing where the students upload their Google Docs onto there, and then it randomly assigns it to another student in the class anonymously. And then I put up a rubric myself, and the students have to answer the questions based off of that. But it gets rid of that, giving the student a good peer grade because you like them, or you don't, or giving a bad grade because you don't like them. So using the peer grade app has helped. Digital library, my personal classroom library, students sign in and out of it. Sign in and out books out of my personal library using a digital Google form. But then also our school this year had gotten a digital library where students can rent books digitally from our school library. So I've been, a driving force in making sure that works, making sure that all students, if they can't afford books or they're going to lose paper copies of books, that they have access digitally to, modern young adult novels. And again, like I said earlier, just being open to any kind of tool that comes across or any kind of initiative that my district is trying to push as far as technology is concerned, whether it was the Google Classroom or our Power School or our Power Teacher, which is where I do my grading and the parents can communicate with me. Being that to know how to use that and being open to using it to the best of my ability. As far as my plan moving forward, it's just kind of stay the course, finding out free web-based tools for my students to use. Like I said, that's how I came across the peer grade. It's how I came across the commonlit.org. Use what's available to me. That's really kind of what I've been doing. I haven't had to worry about budgeting out for things like this because I have found so many free web-based tools. My district next year is going one-to-one, so all of our students will have a Chromebook available to them at all times. So that's been very helpful in the fact that I know that my students will always have access to internet. I have recently had a Chromebook cart in my classroom all the time, so I know that my students constantly have access to the internet, which is a helpful thing. I know that I don't know everything, and that's part of my plan, is like being open to what my students say. Anytime my students want to critique something that I'm doing or have a question about something or, show me a new thing to use, I'm totally open to it because it's what they're going to need. They're going to need to know how to write an essay in my class or, to put their thoughts together, but they're also going to have to know how to be a positive digital citizen and how to use different digital tools for their advantage in their writing. Again, being open to ideas. Although funding isn't really an obstacle to me right now in my new district or in a new position, I may have to look into that further. But I'm really open, and I think that this program at Fort Hays has really made me very open to using free web-based tools in order to kind of drive any kind of technological initiatives that I want to do or things that I would like to use. Looking forward to the class. Thanks for watching my video.